all of your listings on eBay have an expiration date. And that's something the naysayers say isn't true, isn't something that you do, but eBay has always had time frames on pretty much everything on the platform. We're going to discuss it today, and I'm actually going to show you straight from eBay's mouth as well as straight from the user agreement where this comes into play. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to touch on expiration dates on listings. How many times will eBay keep running your listing without sales on it? Now, I know there's people say it says it's good till canceled. Well, that's true, but eBay is allowed to cancel your listing for whatever reason they want. I'm going to show you definitive proof straight from eBay as well that there is a 2-year time span, a 2-year expiration date on your listings. This comes into play on another video I did talking about end and sell similar. Again, that is something that at this point is essential to do. Now, with eBay in the past, they've always had like a 6 run. So before they changed it from buy it now to an actual full-fledged good till canceled, it used to run 6 times. eBay has always had a length of time it would do any feature. If you're unaware of this, for those who've been on for a long time and didn't know this, these have always been factual. They've even been published in the past. Nowadays, they don't publish a lot of these. For example, when you combine shipping and you want to do it over a length of time, like for us, I'll have people that buy, 4 or 5 people buy over an entire month's time frame. They'll purchase them, and they won't pay to the end. If you go over 30 days, though, on any items that are unpaid without sending an invoice, after 30 days, it will not allow you to send an invoice for anything past that 30-day time span. Just the way eBay works. It's just the way eBay works. If you've got giraffes, those can start disappearing after 30 days. If you didn't know that, we've had them disappear. We've even had eBay in the past tell us that can happen. That's why we do not do drafts at all. If I'm going to do something, I'm just going to list the item instead of just messing around. It doesn't have any bearing whether I list it today, tomorrow, or have drafts set up in the future or whatever. I don't waste time on something that could disappear ever on eBay. Another thing I never do is just spew out something here on YouTube. I have researched every single thing I've ever spoken on here, and in the case with this topic here with an expiration date on your listings, I did the #1 step I always do nowadays when conversing with eBay. It's my first action I always do. I go to chat on eBay. And what's the big deal with chat? After you do the chat feature on eBay, they send you a breakdown on the entire chat. You will get a transcript, and it says word for word what eBay said as well as what I said. That's always these days my first course, because in the past I've had people deny on a phone conversation what was said by the other person. They didn't type it in there. When you get the transcript, there's no doubt what that eBay rep told you. You can back it up and say, look, your transcript numbers match. This is an official transcript from eBay. You know, you guys lied to me then, or whatever the case may be. You know, so I always chat first. And in this case, I wasn't super worried about that aspect yet. I was missing $100,000 worth of our listings from the platform for at least an hour. Some of it was gone for 4 or 5 hours at the end of this. So again, I was a little bit nervous. I did, though, call back and talk to 2 different reps on 2 separate phone calls and got the same answer. I also had somebody else, a friend of ours, call from their account, from their name, from their number, and ask the very same question. We all got the same answer, which I'm going to show you what the answer is, and we're going to look at the user agreement to show you without a doubt eBay can pretty much do what they want with your listings. Again, I'm not saying that's bad, good, or indifferent. You know, at this point, we're doing extremely well on eBay. I have no complaints. If they want to use our sold listings for whatever, or whatever they want to do, it's not hurting me. They're on eBay to begin with. So anyway, let's hop over. We're going to look first at the email and transcript that eBay sends you whenever you do the chat and show you the information. We're going to discuss why that information is actually something that they're pushing at this point. So here's the copy of the email eBay sends you for a transcript of every chat you do with the help desk. So if you have an issue on eBay, honestly, your best course of action always going forward would be to do the chat, because they send you a transcript and you have proof of what they said or of what you said. Either way, it works both ways. So now I supply this here too because eBay could sue me if I'm making up stuff or doing anything like that. So anything I've ever done on YouTube, I'm very careful and cautious to make sure that I've double checked it. And in many cases with eBay, I triple check everything. In this case, I've got 4 verifications counting this chat as to what, you know, the time frame issue is, the expiration date. So eBay can clearly see the transcript chat here. You can see the eBay document ID down at the bottom. So this is official. So this is the transcript straight from eBay. I don't know why it says listing, how to find a listing at the top, but I guess that's what they punch in. You can go through here and you know, pause the video and read it. But now this is California time, so it was actually 10:20 my time. I got up at 6 o'clock to do my usual routine, couldn't do it. Waited hours and still couldn't do it. So now at 10:20 I'm contacting them. So anyway, I'm not going to go through the entire thing. She's basically just trying to figure out what the issue is. There's some obviously disconnect on what I see is going on and what she does. The point being that once they understood, or she understood, that the listings weren't going to be in the ended listing section, they were just gone off the platform. Then she went on from there, and then she asked me a series of questions off of a list, off of their script. There is a script. I would be willing to bet you $1 million. So again, we'll pass on down here, because here you can see, Donald, may I know where you are seeing the ended listings that were not relisted? Again, if eBay auto relists them, they don't go to an ended listing column. So again, she wasn't sure, she didn't understand the concept, or maybe they don't know everything about eBay. This is a help desk. Let's see, right here at 7:28, she's asking me, Donald, may I know how you originally listed the items? My response, we listed them one by one on eBay over years of time. Please know that though we have good till cancel duration, there is a limit on it. And I reiterated, we've had 40,000 listings for years and every day prior to right now. For example, for listings that were listed 2 years ago, if it is continuously not selling, it will not be relisted again. Now, I've never stated that eBay would delete your listings. They would end them. Ended listings only stay in the ended listing section for 30 days. So if you do not check that section, you do not go to your ended listing section, and you don't check the quantity of listings you have on any routine basis, you may have listings that have been up too long, you didn't end and sell similar or nothing like that, and eBay ended them. And if you don't go in there in that time span, they could be gone and you might not even know it. That might be where many of your listings are disappearing to, because eBay has this standard here for listings. Obviously, it's not every listing. If you end and sell them as similar, the date that it started on the platform will be the day you ended them and sell them similar. So it'll start a new run on that listing. So if you end and sell similar once a year, every 6 months, once a week, whatever, it's never going to hit a 2-year time span, so those listings will never get pulled down from eBay. Again, the rest of this conversation goes into the technical issue, because I was more worried about over $100,000 worth of our listings had been gone from the site for multiple hours. So as you can see there, it clearly states that in this case that there is a 2-year time span on your listings. Well, how would I know if I just did this one chat that that person is feeding me the correct information? Well, logically, they are using a script. The first thing she brings up is something that obviously could be something very simple, no error, no glitch. That's the very first thing they put out. That's in a script. If you don't know how help desks work, they actually have a script. They can type in what the issue is, what it relates to, and then it gives them a list of things to go through one by one as to what the issue can be. If it's not these issues, that's when they would escalate it. Their job, the first tier at the help desk at eBay, is to make sure that they can hopefully solve the issue without upping it to someone who they pay more money to, like an IT tech, to solve it. They always want it solved first. So there is literally a queue at every help desk that I've ever seen in my life, and as a general manager and a regional in the past, we had help desks. So I have personally done some service. I have an IT degree. I've worked with, testing and running those services from an IT standpoint as well. So you don't want to up anything unless you've done the whole list of things to go through. So anyway, let's look at eBay's user agreement that backs up exactly what they're saying with what they can do to your listings. Now, we're on the current version of the user agreement. This can change every time they do an update or anything else. And this tells you how the site works. Anything related to listings is almost always in section 6. Right over here on this page, listing conditions. These are conditions you have to follow or eBay follows. Okay, here's the pertinent information. Your fixed price listings may renew automatically. Now it says may. It does not say they do or will renew automatically. It says they may. That means they don't always have to keep renewing your listings. They're telling you straight out that that's the case. Automatically every calendar month. They may renew automatically every calendar month based on the listing's terms at the time until all quantities sell or the listing is ended by you or eBay in its sole discretion. So eBay could determine that that listing of yours hasn't had sales, just like they're telling me on 3 phone calls as well as a chat. They can end it. Again, they're not deleting it. You just have to pay attention. The whole point of this is to make sure you know that this is an issue so that you either end and sell similar every so often, or you keep looking at your ended listing section in the hub. That'll tell you when stuff's out there. Now, I've had people tell me, well, they removed the quick search option for ending today, so they must not care. Well, they removed a lot of stuff. And it's all just because they're not paying attention to what they're doing. There's still an end time for every listing. Just like if you look here, eBay's duplicate listings policy may also affect whether your listings appear in search results. eBay removed the tool, the only tool that a seller can use to find out if they have any duplicate listings. They removed it. It was deleted out of the hub, just like the ending today section. Those both are right next to each other as well. So they just removed a gob of quick links to do things. So nowadays, there is no way to know which listings are duplicate listings. So if you ever do end and sell similar, or even if you're just watching eBay's auto relist process, in some cases, your listing totals may go up 1 or 2 or go down 1 or 2. They may go up because a listing may have been created when a glitch happens. And that is exactly what eBay's system does. They may duplicate a listing for you when a glitch happens as opposed to losing that listing. Now, how do I know this is what's happening? Well, it's very obvious. And eBay has said that could happen to me personally, but the biggest factor is if you have business policies set up for shipping on auto relist, if there is a glitch, it will create a new shipping policy for you on its own. That's why I say that's clearly what's happening. So instead of having one shipping policy for first class international or first class US, it'll have 2. One, it's created a duplicate as well as the original. And this always happens on relist. It's very obvious what's going on. So for those who are saying this doesn't happen, that's clearly what's happening. No doubt in my mind. And again, I wouldn't be spewing this out here if I didn't know for sure, because eBay could sue the pants off me anytime they want, or they could boot me off the site for making up false statements. They've even changed the user agreement to address issues like YouTubers and things like that. Though it may not say YouTube specifically, there's clearly things stated in here. There's a bunch of other aspects in here on the fixed price stuff as well. Your listings may not be immediately searchable by keyword or category for several hours or up to 24 hours. Now, why is that? Because eBay has to index your listings. Now, I've had people tell me if you do end and sell similar, Google is going to index your listings too, and then you're going to lose your status. Well, you know what the average time is for Google to index your listings? 24 hours. It could take longer, don't get me wrong, but the majority of everything these days is 24 hours, the same time frame eBay has. So I'm not losing much at all by ending and selling similar. I'm losing a day, but I'm also losing the day on eBay if it automatically relists or anything along that line, or even if I just list a new item. So either way you go, you've got the same thing, but if you've got old listings, eBay doesn't even have to show them anymore. So if you don't end and sell similar, it's going to be old. Yeah, sure, you'll still sell some of your older items when there's no other choice for them to show something, but a lot of your items aren't showing up. And you can check that yourself as well. All you do is go to another laptop or clear browser history, cache, everything, restart your computer, and go from a clean login and go look for your items without logging in and see how many of them actually show up. Now, if you go to the store, you're going to see them all. But if you're doing a search on eBay for a specific item in your store, many cases you can type in the entire title of your item and it not show up. Again, it depends on how old it is and a bunch of other issues here. We may revise listings to supplement, remove, or correct information. They're telling us here they can also adjust your listing. They can change things on it. They've added quantity to some of our listings. So I can't sue them for that because they've told us they can change things on our listings. So, and again, we strive to create a marketplace where buyers find what they are looking for. Therefore, the appearance or placement of listings in search and browse results will depend on a variety of factors, including, but not limited to, buyer's location. If you're not close enough, they don't have to show it, or if the buyer doesn't want something for a specific location. Search query, browsing site, and history. So your history could affect whether they show your items. Going down here, items location, listing format, price and shipping costs, terms of service, end time, the history, and relevance to the user's query. Other things they can look at: seller's history, including listing practices, detailed seller ratings, eBay policy compliance, feedback, defect rating, and number of listings matching the buyer's query. To drive a positive experience, a listing may not appear in some searches and browse results regardless of the sort order chosen by the buyer. So, I mean, right there, they can pretty much do what they want with your listing. They do not have to show it. They state they can end it for whatever reason they want in their sole discretion. They're stating in a chat with me that they can end it and will end it after 2 years if there's no action on the listing. This all frees up space in the database. It's not crazy if something's showing up on the platform for years and nothing's looking at it. You're not even touching that listing. You're not doing any action with it. You're not refreshing it. You're not changing details. It's just a stagnant old listing. Even antique stores and antique malls, when something sits in a store, sometimes we'll just remove it from the store and put it somewhere else or try some other aspect. And in the case of it being up for a couple of years and you haven't done anything to it, why would they want to show that old of a listing when there might be 50 other sellers who have newer listings or refreshed listings, or they did it as a sold similar with none of that track history, none of that age? It's a 30-day-old listing now. It's constantly changed and checked and everything else. Whose do you think they're going to show? Are they going to show the listing that's been sitting in the back shelf gathering dust for 2 years that no one's touched, including the seller? Or are they going to show something from someone who's constantly changing and touching their listings, updating them and paying attention to them, dusting them off, so to speak, by ending and selling similar and refreshing the listing? This isn't rocket science. I'm not throwing out some crazy thing. This is straight from eBay. You can either believe what you see with your own eyes and what eBay tells you, which is what I do. eBay tells me 4 different times that they have a 2-year time limit, or I can say that's not true even though I heard it from eBay. So again, this is all bona fide factual information I'm showing you right here. Again, I'm not looking to get sued by eBay. I'm very happy with the situation I have right this minute with eBay and our sales. Our sales are extremely good. You know, I have no real complaints these days other than the post office having so many issues in the last 2 months, it's not even funny. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Why, it's apricot and hops alive.
Oh, my. Have you come to share my new strawberry shortcake cereal? Indubitably. That's very nice. It's such a pretty strawberry pink, and its crispy strawberry taste is a very good part of this nutritious breakfast. Mm.
Right. It even smells like strawberries.
Outstanding!
New strawberry shortcake cereal.
It's very delicious.